I knew I loved hair and makeup. That was my escape as a child.
Right.
My mom says that when she would look at my math books or my science books or anything, there was any page you would turn to, I would draw a face chart and I would start doing eyeliner. I would start painting faces. I would turn
Wow.
my books into art. Like my husband always says, if someone says no to me, that's the only thing I'm going to do. My whole life, my childhood, if someone says I can't do something, I have to do it. And I couldn't have come back or even stood on my feet if I didn't have my parents, if I didn't have my in-laws, if I didn't have my best friends, if I didn't have, people saying, you know what, Harp, today you're here, but tomorrow there is a light. Just follow the light. You'll keep going.
ਉਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦਾ ਗਿਲਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ। ਉਹ ਇਸ ਗੱਲ ਦਾ ਗੁੱਸਾ ਸੀ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਦਿਖਾਉਂਦੀ ਤਾਂ ਐ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਖੁਸ਼ ਆ ਆਪਣੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ। ਦਿਖਾਉਂਦੀ ਤਾਂ ਐ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਪੋਜ਼ਿਟਿਵ ਆ, ਕਦੇ ਕੁਝ ਗਲਤ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੀ। ਤੇ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਕਰਦੀ ਆ। ਇਹ ਇਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦਾ ਗੁੱਸਾ ਸੀ।
ਜਿਹੜੇ ਮੈਂ ਸਮਝੀ ਸੀਗੀ ਮੇਰੇ ਸਕੇ ਆ,
ਬਿਲਕੁਲ।
ਜਦੋਂ ਉਹ ਮੇਰੇ ਸਕੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਨਿਕਲੇ ਨਾ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸੀਗਾ ਵੀ ਮੈਂ ਕੀ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਮਗਰ ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਦੁੱਖ ਸੁੱਖ 'ਚ ਖੜੀ ਆ, ਮੇਰੇ ਦੁੱਖ ਸੁੱਖ 'ਚ ਕੋਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਖੜਦਾ। ਮੇਰੇ ਸੱਸ ਨੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਵਿਆਹ ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕਿਹਾ ਸੀਗਾ, ਮੇਰੇ ਕੋਲ 4 ਧੀਆਂ ਵਾਂ, ਹੁਣ ਮੇਰੇ ਕੋਲ 5 ਆ ਤੂੰ, ਹਨਾ? ਮੈਂ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਧੀ ਬਣਾ ਕੇ ਹੀ ਰੱਖਣਾ। ਤੇ ਈਵਨ ਐਟ ਮਾਈ ਲੋਐਸਟ ਟਾਈਮਸ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਐਵੇਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿ ਜੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਜੇ ਮੇਰੀ ਧੀ ਨੇ ਐਵੇਂ ਕੀਤਾ ਮੈਂ ਛੱਡਦੀ, ਮੈਂ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਦੇ ਛੱਡਣਾ।
Hi, Harp.
Hi.
Welcome to Chai with Tea.
I am so honored to
Aw.
be here, and I'm super thankful and excited to get this conversation started. I just want to start off by saying I love Tarannum.
Aw, and I love you. You know that already.
Yeah.
And I would like to say thank you because if it wasn't for your last push, Chai with Tea would not be here today.
I know you say that to me, but honestly, it's not me. It's your kismet. You are born to do this. You were born to shine. You're born to bring stories into our lives. So this has nothing to do with me. You should thank yourself. Thank your mama.
Everybody I talk to, Harp, has that to say about you. That Harp is that person who uplifts everybody around her.
Really?
But do you feel that? Do you feel that positive energy around you all the time?
I do, but I think I only surround myself with that kind of energy. Do you know what I mean? Like it was a shift. Like it wasn't always like this way. I always knew that this is who I wanted to kind of become. But in the last, I'd say 5 years,
Yeah.
it's like the place that I am today. I only have in my small circle and my bigger network of circles women like yourself, women that are constantly uplifting me, empowering me, telling me that, that the sky is the limit and there is no limit, like constantly breaking barriers. So I feel like if I could do that for someone else, because so many women have done it for me,
Right.
it's just like paying it forward.
Why do we need that constantly? Why do we need that sort of
Reassurance?
yes, thank you. Yeah.
Because we're women. We need it constant.
है ना? ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ most of the men they walk around feeling very confident.
Or they act like
They sure do.
they act like
ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਇੱਕ ਪੁਸ਼ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ, ਇਹ ਦੱਸਣ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। Why do we self doubt ourselves so much?
because ਜਦੋਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਛੋਟੀਆਂ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਤੋਂ ਹੁਣ ਲੈ ਕੇ being South Asian women, ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇਹੀ ਸਿਖਾਇਆ ਗਿਆ। So because like constantly we have this pressure to
Yeah.
be the be all and end all for everyone.
Mm.
How many hats do you wear in a day? Just think about it.
It's
You're a mom, daughter, sister, best friend, an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Like the list goes on and on.
Yeah.
And we have this, like, I think internally we just try to be all these things and be perfect at all of them. So the pressure we put on ourselves,
Yeah.
really.
I want to talk about the choti ji harp.
Shorty ji harp, if I could go back, ਜੇ ਮੈਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਜੱਫੀਆਂ ਪਾਣੀਆਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੀ ਹਾਂ, I would give her so much love.
Hi.
That girl, oh my God, I just want to cry. Like, I just remember my childhood being really great in the sense that they're obviously going through therapy and counseling. A lot has come up that it wasn't bad. My childhood wasn't bad. It was actually very fantastic. ਮੇਰੇ ਮਾਪਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਕੁਝ ਦਿੱਤਾ। ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਨਿੱਕੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਸੀਗੀ, ਮੇਰੀ ਬੀਬੀ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇੰਨਾ ਪਿਆਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ। ਮੈਂ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਦੱਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਕਦੀ, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਕਦੀ। And she always instilled in me like that, like you could be and do anything you want. And no matter what I did, it was always like, you're the greatest. Like, that Eddie Murphy movie where like Hercules. I was Hercules, and she was my grandmother, constantly like supporting me. So growing up, I had a lot of love, but also I grew up in the 80s and early 90s where there was a lot of racism.
Right.
And me and my sisters suffered really bad because we went to a school, it was Bonacard in Surrey, but we were the only 3 brown girls, plus there was one other one,
Okay.
and that's it. And so growing up, I was a victim of, racism, and
Really?
it really made me go into a shell, and I felt like I didn't belong ever anywhere. So growing up, that's something that I had to deal with.
Right.
And I didn't have any self-confidence. I always kind of played small and I didn't want to be noticed because I just didn't want people to bully me.
Right.
If I go back to my memories, and I've never actually even talked about this, Emma probably doesn't even know. There was one time I was walking home from school and we were getting rocks thrown at us. Me and my sisters, we had to run home because people were saying, go
Oh,
back to your
jeez.
country. Like, and bad words. And when I think about that, I think that really, in my earlier youth and even my adolescence, made me play really small until I think when I, during my 20s, my confidence started to come back. And I was just like, it.
When did the confidence start to come back? Why? How did the confidence start to come back? For somebody who's gone through that much of racism and
I
being
think,
in a shell, it would be hard,
I
wouldn't it?
think my work,
Yeah.
I think this profession that I'm in,
Mm.
I mean, it wasn't something that I set out to do. Like I knew I loved hair and makeup. That was my escape as a child.
Right.
My mom says that when she had would look at my math books or my science books or anything, there was any page you would turn to, I would draw a face chart and I would start doing eyeliner. I would start painting faces. I would turn
Wow.
my books into art, all of it.
Isn't it fascinating कि
Yeah.
ਜਦੋਂ manifestation word मेरे ख्याल
Mhm.
discover भी नहीं सी होया.
Mm.
We were all sort of manifesting our
Yeah.
dreams. We really were.
ਮੈਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਤਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਵੀ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਮੇਰਾ ਇਹ ਹੋਣਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਤੇ ਇਹੀ ਸੀਗਾ ਪੜ੍ਹ ਲਿਖ ਕੇ ਕੁਛ ਚੰਗੀ ਜੌਬ ਕਰੋ
Right.
ਵਿਆਹ ਕਰ ਲਓ ਨਿਆਣੇ ਲੈ ਲਓ ਪਰ ਕਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀਗਾ ਵੀ ਤੂੰ ਐਂਟਰਪ੍ਰੀਨਿਓਰ ਬਣਨਾ ਜਾਂ ਤੂੰ ਆਪਦਾ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸ ਖੋਲਣਾ ਜਾਂ ਤੂੰ ਲਾਈਕ ਮੇਰੇ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ 'ਚ ਕੋਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਖੋਲਦਾ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਲੇ ਆ ਸਾਰੇ ਰਾਈਟ
Yes.
ਹੁਣ ਸਾਰੇ ਐਂਟਰਪ੍ਰੀਨਿਓਰ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਤੱਕ ਸਾਰੇ ਸੀਗੇ
Yeah.
ਪੜ੍ਹ ਲਿਖ ਕੇ ਚੰਗੀ ਜੌਬ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਲਈ ਕੰਮ ਕਰੋ
Yeah.
ਸੋ I started, I think, ਜਦੋਂ Pink Orchid ਦਾ like advent ਸੀਗਾ
Mm.
ਉਦੋਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗਿਆ ਵੀ since I started surrounding myself with brides and other powerful women, that's when my confidence started to
Love
come.
it.
And it was other women that instilled it in me. And I think the more mainstream media, the more brown faces you saw,
Yeah.
the more space we took up,
Yeah.
it made us realize, okay, well,
Our worth.
yeah,
Yeah.
and we're not less than. We could do anything that we want to do.
That is an incredible story.
Yeah.
Growing up, having a cheerleader like your grandmother,
Mhm.
that is so, so important. We don't
So
realize that, isn't it?
So important. So my mom would work. My mom and dad, they were immigrants,
Acha.
and they had 5 kids. My grandparents lived with us. We came from a huge family. My Masis, when they came from India, they lived with us as well. So I always grew up in a household with a lot of love. And like my youngest childhood memories are when we didn't even have a lot, but we had a lot of love. Even just ਸਾਰੇ ਥੱਲੇ ਮੈਟਰ ਸੱਟ ਕੇ ਨਾ ਪੈ ਜਾਓ ਤੇ
Yeah.
ਸਵੇਰੇ ਉੱਠ ਕੇ ਚਾਹ ਪੀਓ ਪਰੌਠੇ ਖਾਓ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਇੰਨੇ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਖੁਸ਼ ਸੀਗੇ ਸੱਚੀ like and even now ਹੁਣ ਵੀ when we go to my massi's houses or everybody has like so many guest rooms
Right.
ਸਾਨੂੰ ਉਹੀ ਆ ਵੀ ਮੈਟਰਸ
Mattresses.
ਲਿਵਿੰਗ ਰੂਮ ਚ ਡਾਲੋ ਤੇ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਇਕੱਠੇ ਪੈਣਾ
ਹਾਏ ਉਹਦਾ ਮਜ਼ਾ ਵੀ ਆਪਣਾ ਹੀ ਹੈ ਹਨਾ
ਹਾਂ
Yeah,
ਬਹੁਤ
but isn't that fascinating ਕਿ ਜਦੋਂ childhood memories ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਦੇ ਵੀ materialistic ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ
no ਕਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ
ਆਪਾਂ ਸਿਰਫ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜੋ ਮੈਮਰੀਜ਼ ਵਾਂਗੂ ਸਾਡੇ ਦਿਮਾਗ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵਸੀਆਂ ਹੋਈਆਂ ਨੇ
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਤੇ ਉਹੀ ਮੈਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਉਹੀ like those are the same thoughts I apply to my kids ਮੈਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਮੈਂ ਕੁਛ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਦੇਣਾ ਮੈਂ ਦਿੰਦੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਆਪਦਾ ਟਾਈਮ ਹੀ ਦਿੰਦੀ ਆ ਬਸ ਮੇਰੇ ਲਈ ਇਹ ਇੰਨਾ ਇੰਪੋਰਟੈਂਟ ਆ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਦੇ ਕਜ਼ਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਖੇਲੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਬਾਹਰ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਖੇਲੋ ਆਪਾਂ ਜੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਕੋਲ 5 ਮਿੰਟ ਵੀ ਐਕਸਟਰਾ ਮੈਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ we walked out to the beach from our house and we just grab a pizza we sit there and that's what we do but I know they'll remember that and for me my mom um going back to like growing up and like they worked full time. My mom worked several jobs and she worked full time. But her work ethic was of no one that I've ever seen.
Wow.
And I think that is why I work so much because it was almost like if I want anything in life, I don't want to depend on anyone. And if something ever happened to my husband, I know I will be fine.
Right.
Or anything happened to, I would die without him
Yeah.
emotionally.
Yeah.
But I don't ever want to feel like I don't know what's happening.
That sense of independence is really
Yes.
important. ਆਪਣੇ ਘਰ ਦੇ ਨਾ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਤੋਂ ਹੀ ਸਾਊਥ ਏਸ਼ੀਅਨ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਟੀਚਿੰਗ ਡਾਕਟਰ ਬਣ ਜਾਣਾ, ਇੰਜੀਨੀਅਰ ਬਣ ਜਾਣਾ, ਇਹ
ਹੂੰ,
ਪ੍ਰੋਫੈਸ਼ਨਸ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ।
ਹੂੰ।
ਇੱਕ ਕੁੜੀ ਦਾ ਇਹ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਮੇਕਅਪ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੀ ਹਾਂ।
ਤੇ ਪਤਾ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਹਾਰਡ ਸੀਗਾ ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਸੀ ਮੈਂ ਮੇਕਅਪ
ਆਈ
ਕਰਨਾ
ਵਾਂਟ ਟੂ ਨੋ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਹਾਰਡ ਸੀ?
ਮੇਰੇ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਈਵਨ ਦੋ ਇੰਨੇ ਸਪੋਰਟਿਵ ਆ, ਪਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਡਰ ਸੀਗਾ ਵੀ ਤੇਰੇ ਸੁਰਖੀ ਬਿੰਦੀ ਦਾ ਕੀ ਬਣਨਾ? ਤੇ ਤਰਨਮ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇਹ ਪ੍ਰੋਫੈਸ਼ਨ ਸੀਗਾ,
ਹੂੰ,
ਸਾਰੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਆ ਮੇਕਅਪ ਵਾਲੀ ਆ ਗਈ,
ਹੂੰ,
ਹਨਾ? ਲਾਈਕ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ
ਹੂੰ,
ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੇ ਘਰੇ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ, ਮੇਰੇ ਮਮ ਡੈਡ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੀ ਹੁਣ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੀ ਕਵਾਂਗੇ ਤੇ ਸਾਡੀ ਕੁੜੀ ਮੇਕਅਪ ਕਰਦੀ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਕਰ, ਐਂਡ ਦਿਸ ਇਜ਼ ਕੀਪ ਇਨ ਮਾਈਂਡ अर्ਲੀ 90s,
ਆਫ ਕੋਰਸ,
ਹਨਾ?
ਯਾ,
ਉਦੋਂ ਤੱਕ ਹੋਇਆ ਹੈ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀਗਾ।
ਯਾ,
ਤੇ ਜੇ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਸੋਚਿਆ ਵੀ ਹੁਣ ਕੀ, like the best part about Pink Orchid was it started at the advent of Facebook.
ਰਾਈਟ,
So ਅਸੀਂ ਫ੍ਰੀ ਮਾਰਕੀਟਿੰਗ ਦੀ ਯੂਜ਼ ਕੀਤੀ
ਯਾ,
ਤੇ ਫ੍ਰੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਵੀ ਹੁਣ ਅਸੀਂ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦਿਖਾਈਏ ਇਹ ਗਲੈਮਰਸ ਵੀ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ। ਅਸੀਂ ਏਡੇ ਵੱਡੇ ਹੋਟਲਾਂ 'ਚ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ, we live this amazing lifestyle, we get to be around designer clothing, like all this. So ਅਸੀਂ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਸ਼ੋਅ ਕਰਨ ਲੱਗੇ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਮੇਕਅਪ ਆਰਟਿਸਟ ਬਸ ਇਹੀ ਕੰਮ ਨਹੀਂਗਾ, it could be glamorous as well. So we're starting to change the mindset and revolutionize the industry, and I think that's it was very important to me that when it wasn't just going to be a hair and makeup company. It was going to be bigger than that. It had to have a product line. It had to have an academy. It had to have so many umbrellas under this one brand
ਰਾਈਟ।
in order for it to be what I wanted it to be.
ਸੋ ਹੁਣ ਤਾਂ ਪਿੰਕ ਆਰਕਿਡ ਨੂੰ ਫੋਲੋ ਕਰਨ ਵਾਲੀਆਂ
Hmm.
500 ਹੋਰ ਕੰਪਨੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਜੋ
ਹਾਂਜੀ
ਪਿੰਕ ਆਰਕਿਡ ਬਣਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ,
ਹਾਂਜੀ
ਰਾਈਟ? ਪਰ ਪਿੰਕ ਆਰਕਿਡ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਕੋਈ ਅਜਿਹਾ ਰੋਲ ਮਾਡਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਉਹ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕੀਤਾ। ਸੋ
ਔਰ ਉਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ
what drove you? ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਵਿਜ਼ਨ ਸੀ ਉਹ ਕਿੱਥੋਂ ਆਈ?
ਬਿਕਾਜ਼ ਮੈਂ ਸੋਚਿਆ ਵੀ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਦਾ ਕੋਈ ਹੈ ਨਹੀਂਗਾ ਇੱਥੇ ਕਾਹਤੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਜੇ ਹੋਰ ਕੋਈ ਕਰ ਸਕਦਾ ਡਿਫਰੈਂਟ ਪ੍ਰੋਫੈਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਾਹਤੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੀ
ਰਾਈਟ,
ਹਨਾ ਵੀ ਮੇਰੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੀ ਕਮੀ ਆ ਮੈਂ ਆਮ ਹਾਰਡ ਵਰਕਿੰਗ ਲਾਈਕ
ਯਾ,
ਮੇਰਾ ਦਿਲ ਸਾਫ਼ ਆ
ਯਾ,
ਤੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਕੋਲ ਵਰਕ ਹੱਥ ਹੈਗਾ ਤੇ ਕਾਹਤੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਤੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇਵੇਂ ਹੀ ਸੀਗਾ ਮੈਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੇਖਦੀ ਸੀਗੀ ਵੀ ਆਪਦੀਆਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸ ਖੋਲਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੀ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਿ ਮੇਰੇ ਕੋਲ ਹੈ
ਹੂੰ,
ਸੋ ਮੈਂ ਕਾਹਤੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੀ
ਹੂੰ,
ਮੈਂ ਹਾਂ ਇੱਕ ਕੁੜੀ ਆ
ਹੂੰ,
ਇੱਕ like Indo Canadian ਕੁੜੀ ਆ
ਯਾ,
I have some
ਯਾ,
obviously it's not going to be the easiest path for me
ਰਾਈਟ,
but in this country ਮੇਰੇ mom ਤੇ dad ਮੈਨੂੰ always ਕਹਿੰਦੇ especially my dad uh, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਲੱਕੀ ਹੋ ਵੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਨਮ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਵੀ ਲੋਕੀ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੰਨੇ ਦੁਖੀ ਆ ਵੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਕੋਲ ਵੋਟ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਤਾਂ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਛ ਆ ਵੀ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਰਿਸੋਰਸਸ ਆ ਜਦੋਂ ਉਹ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੁਣਦੇ ਆ ਗਰੋਇੰਗ ਅਪ ਫਿਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸੋਚਦੇ ਆ ਵੀ ਹਾਂ ਕਾਹਤੇ ਨਹੀਂ
ਇੰਨੀਆਂ ਓਪਰਚੁਨਿਟੀਜ਼
ਇੰਨੀਆਂ
ਦਿੱਤੀਆਂ
ਆਪਰਚੁਨਿਟੀ
ਹੋਈਆਂ ਨੇ। ਸੋ ਹੁਣ ਘਰਦਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਕਨਵਿੰਸ ਕੀਤਾ ਕਿ ਕੁੜੀ ਮੇਕਅਪ ਕਰੂਗੀ?
ਮੈਂ ਬਸ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਮੇਰੇ ਮਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਰੀਅਲੀ ਸਟ੍ਰਿਕਟ ਇੰਡੀਅਨ ਹਾਊਸਹੋਲਡ ਤੋਂ ਆਈ ਹਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੀ, ਵਿਆਹ ਕਰਕੇ ਜੋ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਕਰੀ ਮੇਰਾ ਵਿਆਹ 21 ਇਅਰਸ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਸੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਂ
ਅੱਛਾ,
I met Sufir when I was 16
ਓਹ ਵੰਡਰਫੁਲ,
ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਨਾਲੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲਿਆ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ like he asked me out and I was like no I can't date you
ਹਾਂ,
he's like why I'm like because if my dad finds out we're gonna have to get married and he's like you're 16 and ਮੇਰੇ ਸਹੁਰੇ are very westernized
ਅੱਛਾ,
ਮੇਰੇ ਮਾਂ ਪਿਓ very traditional
ਟ੍ਰੈਡੀਸ਼ਨਲ, ਹਾਂ,
ਸੋ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਮਿਲੀ ਪਹਿਲੀ ਵਾਰ ਮੈਂ 16 ਸੀਗੀ ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਆ ਜਾਓ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਅੰਦਰ ਆ ਕੇ ਡਿਨਰ ਕਰੋ
ਹਾਂ,
ਮੈਂ ਘਰ ਵੀ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਤਾਂ ਕੁਛ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਜੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਮਮ ਡੈਡ ਨੂੰ ਮਿਲਿਆ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਓਕੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਠਾਕਾ ਕਰੋ ਤੇ ਵਿਆਹ ਕਰੋ
ਵਿਆਹ ਕਰੋ ਫਟਾਫਟ ਸ਼ਗਨ ਪਾਓ।
ਅੱਛਾ ਕਰ ਪਾਓ ਸੋ soon as my dad found out it was that's it was like okay ਠਾਕਾ ਕਰਤਾ
ਹਾਂ,
ਤੇ ਫਿਰ 3 ਸਾਲ ਦਿੱਤੇ ਤੇ ਵਿਆਹ ਕਰਤਾ ਤੇ
ਅੱਛਾ,
ਫਿਰ ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਵੀ ਹੁਣ ਤਾਂ ਮੇਰਾ ਵਿਆਹ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਜਦੋਂ ਵਿਆਹ ਕਰਕੇ ਜੋ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਕਰੀ
ਹਾਂ।
ਫਿਰ ਮੈਂ ਕੰਮ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕੀਤਾ
ਤੇ ਸੁਖ ਨੂੰ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਹ ਵਾਲਾ ਪਾਥ ਚੁਣਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ?
ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਚ ਸਾਰੇ ਲਾਈਕ ਸਾਰੇ ਮਾਸਟਰਸ ਡਿਗਰੀ ਆ
ਹਾਂ,
ਜਾਂ ਲਾਈਕ ਡਿਗਰੀਜ਼ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤਾਂ ਘੱਟ that's the baseline okay ਫਿਰ ਬਾਅਦ ਚ ਮਾਸਟਰਸ PhDs ਤੇ
ਹਾਂ,
ਡਾਕਟਰੀ
ਅੱਛਾ,
ਸੁਖ ਦੀ ਸਾਰੀ ਸਾਈਡ
ਓਕੇ,
all his sisters ਹਨ ਤੇ same with ਸੁਖ
ਰਾਈਟ,
ਤੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਮੈਂ ਮੇਕਅਪ ਕਰਨਾ honestly ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ my in-laws they're so supportive they're like ਜੇ ਤੂੰ ਇਹ ਕਰਨਾ
ਯਾ,
ਕਰ ਪਰ ਆਪਦਾ ਪੂਰਾ ਦਿਲ ਲਾ ਕੇ ਕਰੀ
ਅੱਛਾ।
like be the best
ਹਾਊ ਵੰਡਰਫੁਲ ਇਜ਼ ਦੈਟ
yeah
ਟੂ ਗੈਟ ਦੈਟ ਸਪੋਰਟ,
yeah yeah
ਔਰ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ।
hmm
ਲੋਕੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਆਲੇ-ਦੁਆਲੇ ਆਲੇ ਜੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਫੇਥ ਨਹੀਂ ਦਿਖਾਉਂਦੇ ਨਾ,
hmm
ਤਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ 'ਚ ਫੇਥ ਲੂਜ਼ ਕਰਨੀ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਹੋ।
ਹਾਂ
ਇਟ ਰੀਅਲੀ ਹੈਪਨਸ।
I know ਤਾਂ ਹੀ ਤਾਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹੋ ਵੀ ਲਾਈਕ ਤੂੰ ਹਰਪ ਵੀ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਕੌਨਫੀਡੈਂਸ ਮਿਲੀ ਜਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਆਪ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਹਿ ਸਕਦੀ ਬਿਕਾਜ਼ ਆਬਵੀਅਸਲੀ ਸੈਲਫ ਡਾਊਟ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਮੈਂ ਕਹਿ ਸਕਦੀ ਹਾਂ ਵੀ ਮੇਰੇ ਕੋਲ ਇੰਨਾ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਮੈਂ ਇੰਨੀ ਲੱਕੀ ਆ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਮੈਂ ਪਿਛਲੇ ਜਨਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੀ ਕਰਮ ਖੱਟਿਆ ਵੀ ਮੇਰੇ ਕੋਲ ਇਦਾਂ ਦਾ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਆ ਲਾਈਕ ਐਨੀਥਿੰਗ ਆਈਵ ਗੋਨ ਥਰੂ
ਰਾਈਟ।
ਜੋ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਹੋਵੇ ਪਤਾ ਵਾ ਲਾਈਕ ਮੇਰੇ ਕੋਲ ਹਾਈਜ਼ ਵੀ ਆ ਤੇ ਲੋਜ਼ ਵੀ ਆ ਪਰ ਮੇਰੇ ਸੱਸ ਨੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਵਿਆਹ ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕਿਹਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਮੇਰੇ ਕੋਲ 4 ਧੀਆਂ ਵਾਂ ਹੁਣ ਮੇਰੇ ਕੋਲ 5 ਆ ਤੂੰ ਹਨਾ ਮੈਂ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਧੀ ਬਣਾ ਕੇ ਹੀ ਰੱਖਣਾ ਤੇ ਈਵਨ ਐਟ ਮਾਈ ਲੋਐਸਟ ਟਾਈਮਸ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਐਵੇਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿ ਜੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਜੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਮੇਰੀ ਧੀ ਨੇ ਮੈਂ ਕਿੱਥੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਛੱਡਦੀ ਮੈਂ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਦੇ ਛੱਡਣਾ that ਜਦੋਂ ਮੇਰੇ ਕੋਲ ਏਦਾਂ ਦੀ ਰੋਲ ਮਾਡਲ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇੰਨਾ ਪਿਆਰ ਮਿਲਦਾ ਮੇਰੀ ਮਮ ਤੋਂ ਫਿਰ in turn ਮੈਂ ਦੂਜਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਦੇਣਾ right
Oh my gosh.
yeah
That is incredible. I think ਹਰ ਕੁੜੀ ਦਾ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਸੁਪਨਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ
ਹਮ,
ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹਾ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਮਿਲੇ ਹਨਾ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਦੇ ਨੂੰ ਜਦੋਂ ਛੱਡ ਕੇ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਹੋ 21 ਸਾਲ ਦੀ ਉਮਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਹੁਤ ਥੋੜੀ ਉਮਰ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ
ਬਹੁਤ
ਹਨਾ, ਬਹੁਤ ਛੋਟੀ ਉਮਰ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ।
ਹਮ. Tarannum wasn't easy either. Like I moved into my in-laws' house at 21 years old. My husband was going to SFU. Like it wasn't. It was even though the bigger picture now looking in,
Right,
I wouldn't change a thing.
right.
But when you're 21 years old and now you went from one household to another household, you've never got to experience life. You didn't really get to go live on res. I didn't do it like to think if I want that life for my kids? No, I want them to go abroad to school. I
Exactly.
want them to go, you know,
Yeah.
there's so many more things that I want them to live and experience because I honestly feel like every decade of your life ਉਹੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਚੱਜ ਦਾ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਉਹ ਲਾਈਕ ਫੋਰ ਐਗਜ਼ਾਮਪਲ ਹੁਣ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਕਹਿ ਦੇਵੇ ਤੂੰ ਕਲੱਬਿੰਗ ਜਾ ਤੂੰ ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਕਦੇ ਨਾ ਜਾਵਾਂ
Yeah,
ਹੁਣ
yeah.
ਉਮਰ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ
Exactly.
ਰਾਈਟ
ਹੁਣ ਜੀ ਕਰਦਾ ਵੀ ਕਾਸ਼ ਉਹ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਉਦੋਂ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ
ਔਰ ਉਹ
ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ।
ਕੀਤੀਆਂ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ
ਹੁਣ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੇ ਕਰਨ ਨਹੀਂ
ਯਾ
ਦਿੱਤੀਆਂ।
ਜੇ ਤਾਂ ਹੀ ਤਾਂ
ਹਾਂ,
ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਹਾਂ, ਜਦੋਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਉਮਰ ਆ ਕਰ ਲੈਣ ਦੋ ਬਿਕਾਜ਼
right.
ਆਪੇ ਜਦੋਂ the next phase of their life the chapter ਕੁਛ ਹੋਰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ
Yeah.
it's just the evolution of life.
So ਹੁਣ ਆ ਨਵੀਂ ਡੈਕੇਡ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋਣ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ। Are you excited? How are you feeling?
Oh my God, man, I can't even, when you say that, ਮੇਰੇ ਢਿੱਡ 'ਚ ਲੱਡੂ ਪੱਕਦੇ ਆ. So I'm turning 40 this weekend.
Yes, you are.
And we share a birthday. Happy
Yes, you do.
birthday. It's Tarannum's birthday. It's her birthday today. What an honor that she's actually spending her birthday with me.
Oh,
So I feel like I just getting started. Everything that I've collected in my life, all the woes, the
yeah,
highs,
yeah.
it's all just led me up to now. Like even when people say you should write a book about your story, because I could write a book. I just feel like, and then what? Like I'm only getting started. There's so much that I have to still write.
ਹਾਂ ਔਰ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਨਾ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ 40 ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਨਾ ਕੁਝ ਸ਼ਿਫਟ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ
Yeah.
ਨੀਰੂ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਸੀ ਪੋਡਕਾਸਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ
Hanji.
ਕਿ ਸਮਥਿੰਗ ਹੈਪਨਸ
Mm.
ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ ਅਜੀਬ ਜਿਹਾ ਕੌਨਫੀਡੈਂਸ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਚ ਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ
Oh.
40 ਤੱਕ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਿੱਖ ਰਹੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ ਬਾਕੀ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਖੁਸ਼ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ
Mm.
ਆਪਣੇ ਆਲੇ ਦੁਆਲੇ ਨੂੰ ਫਿਗਰ ਆਊਟ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ ਇਹ ਫਿਗਰ ਆਊਟ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਹੋ ਕੌਣ
Mm.
40 ਤੇ ਆ ਕੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਕਿ this is who I am
Mm.
and these are my values
Yep.
and this is what matters
Yep.
ਹਨਾ
And it's shocking that when people say everyone that was older than me, my older cousins that would say that to me, I would be like, yeah. But it's true. I don't know what happens. It's just like
yeah
I just don't have time for the BS anymore.
no
Whereas before, I wouldn't say no to anyone or anything. Ask Emma. If anyone would say, you
Hmm.
want to do this, you want to do, I'd be like, yes, 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 yes. And wear myself then, even if it didn't align with
right
sometimes my values or,
yeah
it would always be like, just say yes. If someone's knocking on that door, it's an opportunity. You should always open it and take it. Now I feel like, no, I'm not going to because I could spend that time doing something that I actually love
yeah
because every day we're dying. I see it that way. Like I only have so many summers
life
left.
is so short
I only have so when you're young,
yeah
you feel like you're never gonna die.
yeah
But now I feel like I only have so much time or so many summers or so many days or so many weekends.
Mm.
Who am I gonna choose to spend that time with? Am I gonna when I'm on my deathbed saying, "Oh, I should have worked more," or "I should have done that"? No, it's gonna be like, did I make the people that I actually love make them feel loved?
right
Did I make an impact like the way that I wanted to
yeah
make? And if what I'm even when you asked me, you want to do this, I was like, absolutely yes. Because I would spend my time with you doing this, and we do this
Aw.
anytime, right?
yes we
It's
do
literally like chai time when we
I
sit, we
love
just
it
talk, even on the phone.
and I love that
Yeah.
I love that about us ਜਿਹੜੀ perception ਹੈ ਨਾ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੀ ਹਰ ਉਹ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦੇਖ ਕੇ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਇਹ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇਹ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਕਰ ਲੈਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਪੋਜ਼ਿਟਿਵ ਹੈ ਕਿੰਨਾ you're doing a lot you're absolutely ambitious you're gorgeous you walk in the room you turn heads and it's a fact you spread light wherever you go ਪਰ ਇਹ ਸਕਸੈਸ ਦੀ ਦੂਜੀ ਸਾਈਡ ਵੀ ਹੈ
Oh, Agia.
ਹਨਾ
Yeah.
ਹੇਟਰਸ ਵੀ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਲੋਕ ਵੀ ਨੇ ਜੋ ਇੰਤਜ਼ਾਰ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਦੋਂ ਥੱਲੇ ਆਓ
Hmm.
ਉਹੀ ਲੋਕ ਜੋ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਉੱਪਰ ਚੜਾਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ
Oh,
um,
ਖਿੱਚ ਕੇ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਆ ਵੀ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਚ ਆ ਜਾ ਇੰਨਾ ਨਾ ਉੱਚੀ ਉੱਡ that I'm not for two the first part of your questions well let's talk about the haters. Haters ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਛੋਟੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਸੀ or 20s ਜਾਂ 30 ਚ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਸੀਗੀ
Hmm.
ਇਵੇਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ well if you're not getting talked about if you don't have haters you're not doing something right right ਹੁਣ ਹੈਗਾ ਹੁਣ my mindset has changed after I've been through so much because when you're not happy and I've been in times in my life where I'm not happy
we all have
and I'll admit it. I've seen other people that, are happy.
Mm.
It you feel like a almost like a jealousy, or I don't want to say it like I'm not happy for them, but like it would make me sad because I don't have that.
'Cause it's envy, right? You're
Yeah, it
envious.
is.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
all have gone through it.
Yep.
And I'm not saying I've never gone through it, I have. So I could understand when someone sends me a hateful message, how much pain they might be in their own life
Mhm.
in order for them to create a fake account first
Right.
and then go through all that and just to spew out their negativity.
Mhm.
It's because they want me to feel
Mhm.
what they're feeling.
Yeah.
And what they're feeling is hurt.
Right.
So, I mean, sometimes I want to like be a keyboard warrior and be like,
Mm.
oh, yeah, but most of the time I just look, okay, step back, read it, and really think, how much hurt is this person in? So, really be empathetic for them. I don't reply back because
Right.
I don't think it's,
Yeah.
you're basically just,
Giving them power.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
But I read it if I ever comes in because you know
Mhm.
how Instagram has those like,
Mhm.
and sometimes if they're not, if I don't open their messages,
Mhm.
they'll start emailing.
Oh,
Well, they're,
interesting.
yeah, but it I don't take it like seriously. I just feel like I hope one day that they'll come to a point where they are happy they don't have to do that anymore.
Has that always been the case कि ये realization ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈ ਇਹ ਹੁਣ
No,
recently आई?
it's just recently. It's been in the last, I say, 5 years. I feel more empathetic for that. But before, it used to be like when I was in my 20s. Oh, it's like haters gonna hate, or oh, you know, I must be doing something right if I have haters. Now I don't feel like that. I actually feel bad that someone is hurting that
Mm.
much for them to send you that message.
You've ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਨਾ ਲੋਕੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਔਰ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਬਹੁਤ ਸੱਚੀ ਲੱਗਦੀ ਹੈ
Mhm.
ਕਿ ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੋਵੇਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਦੇਖੀਆਂ
Mhm.
ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਨਾ ਸਕਸੈਸ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਹੁੰਦਾ
Mhm.
ਅਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਲੋਐਸਟ ਪੁਆਇੰਟ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੇ ਦੇਖੇ
Yep.
ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਉਸ ਸਕਸੈਸ ਦੀ ਅਹਿਮੀਅਤ ਦਾ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੈ, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ
Mhm.
ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੈ ਵਟ ਐਕਚੁਅਲੀ ਮੈਟਰਸ ਤੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਰੌਕ ਬਾਟਮ
Mhm.
ਬੰਦਾ ਹਿੱਟ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ ਨਾ
Mhm.
ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਐ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ there is no light at the end of the tunnel
Mhm.
ਪਰ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ if you think about it in hindsight ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉੱਭਰ ਕੇ ਬਾਹਰ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਹੋ ਉਹ ਥੱਲੇ ਜਾਣ ਦਾ ਹੋਰ ਰਾਹ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ
No.
ਉੱਪਰ ਹੀ ਆਉਣਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ
Huh.
you've hit that rock bottom.
Yep. I have. And it was a tough pill to swallow because I'll tell you what, with Pink Orchid, it was like this gradual and then fast.
It did go up really
Yeah. And
fast.
it's because when you are doing nothing but working on your business
Yeah.
24/7,
Yeah.
everything else suffers in your life,
Mhm.
your relationships with your spouse, your kids, your family, because you have this one mindset and you have a goal and you're going to it. And when that's happening, at that point, I remember like we were just going from city to city, traveling, doing this and number one on Amazon. I never got to sit and actually think, wow, we've accomplished this, or I've done this, or my team has done this. It was like it's like a ladder you're climbing, right?
Yeah.
You're already here and you're what's next? What's
It's
next?
never enough.
It's never enough. And when I hit rock bottom,
Mm.
that's when I realized, okay, first off, everyone that's in your life,
Yeah.
everyone's going to be there when you're at the high and you're celebrating, you're having a good time, popping champagne.
Yeah.
That everyone's there.
Absolutely.
When you'll know who really loves you and who really is there for you when you have none of that.
That's so true.
Yeah, and they just want to be there because they love you and your company. So that was a silver lining for me.
That's an eye-opening experience,
Big time,
actually.
big time. But
Actually.
it was the best thing that could have happened to me at that point because where was I going to end up going?
Mm.
Really think about it. If I'm that miserable and alone and like constantly chasing
Mhm.
like a dream. But then when I hit rock bottom, it was like, okay, I reevaluated everything, took inventory of the actual people that love me.
Mm.
And then now when I have had to rebuild everything, now I don't take nothing for granted. When someone actually sends me like a card, or my students sit and they want to have a chat with me and they want to tell me how I've affected their life or whatever it is. I sit there and I'm in that moment. I'm so present now and I don't take anything for granted because I know it could all be gone tomorrow. So today when I'm here with you, I
Yeah.
am with you.
Love that.
Yeah.
But it ਬਹੁਤ hurt ਹੁੰਦਾ.
Hmm.
You wear your heart on your sleeve.
Yeah.
You're that person.
I do.
ਤੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਲਾਇਲ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ,
Yeah.
ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਦਿਲੋਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ, ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਬੁਰਾ ਕੀਤਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਗਿਫਟ ਭੇਜਦੇ ਹੋ।
Huh? Yeah.
ਫਿਰ ਜਦੋਂ ਲਾਇਲਟੀ ਵਾਪਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਤਾਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਦੁੱਖ ਹੁੰਦਾ। ਸੋ what did you feel ਜਦੋਂ
ਮੈਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਸ਼ੌਕ ਸੀਗੀ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮੈਂ ਇੰਨਾ ਪਿਆਰ ਕਰਦੀ ਸੀਗੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਲਾਈਕ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਜਾਂ ਮੇਰੇ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਚ ਸੀਗੀਆਂ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਮੈਂ ਸਮਝੀ ਸੀਗੀ ਮੇਰੇ ਸਕੇ ਆ
ਬਿਲਕੁਲ
ਜਦੋਂ ਉਹ ਮੇਰੇ ਸਕੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਨਿਕਲੇ ਨਾ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸੀਗਾ ਵੀ ਮੈਂ ਕੀ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਮਗਰ ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਦੁੱਖ ਸੁੱਖ ਚ ਖੜੀ ਆ ਮੇਰੇ ਦੁੱਖ ਸੁੱਖ ਚ ਕੋਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਖੜਦਾ ਇੰਨਾ ਲਾਈਕ but it was a ਚਪੇੜ. It was a reality check. But honestly, it was the best thing that could have happened to me because ਹੁਣ ਉਹ growth ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ, ਉੱਪਰ ਹੀ ਜਾਣਾ,
Yeah,
ਹਨਾ?
like I
ਉੱਪਰ ਹੀ
said,
ਜਾਣਾ.
yeah, you have to.
Yeah, from manure grows flower, right?
है ना?
All those sayings that you hear when you actually go through it, you're like, oh,
Mm.
all those kahaniyan that my mom used to say, like those Punjabi liners, like ਡੰਗਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਕਿਹੜਾ city sing ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ, or things like that, like all these random,
ਮੁਹਾਵਰੇ।
yeah, yeah, whatever they're called,
हाँ,
they all make sense. You're like, oh my god, they know what they're talking about.
ਅੱਛਾ ਇਹ ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਨੋਇਜ਼ ਹੈ ਬਲੌਕ ਆਊਟ ਕਰਨੀ ਸੌਖੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦੀ।
No,
ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਤੇ ਨਾ ਕਿਤੇ ਉਸ ਨੋਇਜ਼ ਨੂੰ ਬਿਲੀਵ ਕਰਨਾ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦੇ
yeah,
ਉਹ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਅਫੈਕਟ ਕਰਨਾ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦੀ। ਜਦੋਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜੋ ਕੁਝ ਕੀਤਾ ਗਲਤ ਕੀਤਾ,
yep.
ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜੋ ਕੁਝ ਕੀਤਾ ਉਹ ਆਪਣੇ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਨਾਲ, ਆਪਣੇ ਨਾਲ, ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਹੋਣਾ
Yep.
ਚਾਹੀਦਾ। ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਆਲ ਆਫ ਅ ਸਡਨ ਐਵਰੀਬਾਡੀ ਇਜ਼ ਅ ਮੋਰਲ ਪੁਲਿਸ,
ਉਹ
ਰਾਈਟ?
ਤਾਂ ਇੱਕ ਤਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪੂਰੀ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਤਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ
ਯਾ
ਤੇ ਦੂਜਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਸੁਣ ਸਾਰ ਕੇ ਆਪਦਾ
ਜਜਮੈਂਟ।
judgment, they make their form their opinion and they spew it on you. Is I feel like for me it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks about me. What matters is the people that I love the most: my husband, my kids, my in-laws, my parents, my BB, my sisters, my siblings, my true closest friends. What are their opinions of me? The outside world is all noise. And like the best advice that I was ever given: what other people think of you is none of your business.
Absolutely.
It isn't. So if you think something that I am, it doesn't matter. It's none of my business what you think. Keep going on with your opinion because it should not affect my life.
ਕਿਤੇ ਨਾ ਕਿਤੇ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿ ਆਪਣੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਡਬਲ ਸਟੈਂਡਰਡਸ
Big time.
ਜਦੋਂ ਮਤਲਬ ਬੰਦਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਮੇਲਸ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਹੈ
What ਕੁਛ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ?
ਕੋਈ ਕਿਸੇ ਨਾਲ ਕੋਈ ਕੁਝ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਹਿ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਤੇ ਡਿਨਰ ਪਾਰਟੀਆਂ ਤੇ ਆਮ ਤੌਰ ਤੇ ਜੇ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਹੋ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਤਾਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਕੁੜੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਗਲਤ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਂ
ਤੇ ਕੁੜੀਆਂ ਦੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ, ਮੁੰਡਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਤਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਫੜਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਪੁਸ਼।
ਸੋ ਇਹ ਡਬਲ ਸਟੈਂਡਰਡ ਨਹੀਂ ਤਾਂ ਹੋਰ ਕੀ ਆ ਫਿਰ?
ਹੈਗਾ ਵਾ ਪਰ ਸਾਰੀ every ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਟੀ ਚ ਦੇਖੋ, ਐਥਨਿਸਿਟੀ ਚ ਦੇਖੋ, ਇਹ ਸੇਮ ਡਬਲ ਸਟੈਂਡਰਡ ਆ। ਦੁਨੀਆ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਡਬਲ ਸਟੈਂਡਰਡ ਆ। ਬੰਦੇ ਜੋ ਕੁਛ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਕਰਨ ਉਹ ਬੰਦੇ ਆ।
ਯਾ
ਪਰ ਜੇ ਕੁੜੀ ਕੁਛ ਕਰੇ, doesn't matter what it is. Apani, the biggest, like, not even the people that pass the most judgment on us are another dujio
oh women.
women,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
It's
absolutely.
almost like as we hold ourselves to this standard that's unattainable. And it's like women that, and not only men that you get judged by, but you get judged by women as well.
Yeah, ਮੇਰੀ ਇਸ ਗੱਲ ਤੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹਿਸ ਹੋਈ। ਬਹੁਤ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਬਹਿਸ ਹੋਈ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਯੂ ਬਿਕੇਮ ਅ ਡਿਨਰ ਟੇਬਲ ਕਨਵਰਸੇਸ਼ਨ। ਹਰ ਪਾਸੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀਆਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਹੋ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਸੀ ਉਸ ਵੇਲੇ, ਐਂਡ ਯੂ ਵੈਲ ਅਵੇਅਰ ਆਫ ਦੈਟ। ਤੇ ਕੁੜੀਆਂ ਦਾ ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਓਪੀਨੀਅਨ ਸੁਣਦੇ ਹੋ ਨਾ ਤਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦਾ ਗਿਲਾ ਸੀ। ਜੋ ਕੁਝ ਹੋਇਆ ਉਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦਾ ਗਿਲਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ। ਉਹ ਇਸ ਗੱਲ ਦਾ ਗੁੱਸਾ ਸੀ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਦਿਖਾਉਂਦੀ ਤਾਂ ਐ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਖੁਸ਼ ਆ ਆਪਣੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਦਿਖਾਉਂਦੀ ਤਾਂ ਐ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਪੋਜ਼ਿਟਿਵ ਆ, ਕਦੇ ਕੁਝ ਗਲਤ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੀ ਤੇ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਕਰਦੀ ਆ। ਇਹ ਇਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦਾ ਗੁੱਸਾ ਸੀ।
ਉਹ ਇੱਕ ਤਾਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦਾ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ, ਗੱਲਾਂ ਹੀ, ਰਾਈਟ? ਤੇ ਦੂਜਾ ਦੂਜਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੁਛ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਤਾ ਮੇਰੇ ਘਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੇ ਮੇਰੇ, ਲਾਈਕ, ਇੱਕ ਔਰਤ ਦਾ ਦਰਦ ਔਰਤ ਨੂੰ ਹੀ ਪਤਾ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ। ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਪਤਾ ਮੇਰੇ ਘਰ ਚ ਕੀ ਆ? ਈਵਨ ਨਾਓ ਸਾਰੇ ਕਹਿ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ ਵੀ ਦਿਖਾਉਂਦੀ ਤਾਂ ਵੀ ਇੰਨਾ ਕੁਛ ਕਰਦੀ ਆ, ਹਰਪ ਤੂੰ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਮੈਨੇਜ ਕਰਦੀ ਆ? ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਤਾ ਵੀ ਸਮਟਾਈਮਸ ਮੈਂ ਵੀ, like, I have no energy sometimes. I need to go off of social media. I have to shut down my page and I have to be like, I just need a break from all of this because my social media, I feel like there's so much going on in the world, right? There's so much negativities at times. There's the news. Anytime you turn it on, it's like this war, that. I wanted my page to be a page where someone could come and get a recipe or be uplifted or be just positive. There's everything, there's shit going around in the world everywhere. So I don't want to be that. So that's why even on my page now, I don't really, I'm not going to sit there and throw myself a pity party and cry and be like, oh my God, I did. Like, there's not going to help anyone. I'm here to motivate another woman. I'm here to show other women that, you know what, we all have bad days, but life is great.
Yeah.
Life is so good.
Yeah.
Do good. Be good.
ਅੱਛਾ, ਬੈਡ ਡੇਜ਼ ਇਜ਼ ਵਨ ਥਿੰਗ ਹਰਪ, ਪਰ ਜਦੋਂ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹਾ ਐਕਸਪੀਰੀਅੰਸ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਜੋ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਤੋੜ ਦਿੰਦਾ, ਕੰਪਲੀਟਲੀ ਸ਼ੈਟਰ ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦਾ, ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਔਖਾ ਪੀਰੀਅਡ ਆਪਣੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦਾ, ਹੈ ਨਾ? ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਦੁਬਾਰਾ ਪੈਰਾਂ ਤੇ ਖੜੇ ਕਰਨਾ ਸੌਖਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ।
ਹੁੰਦਾ ਨੀਗਾ, ਪਰ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸੀਗਾ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਖੜਨਾ ਪੈਣਾ ਸੀ। I had no choice because ਮੈਂ ਆਪਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਜੀ ਸਕਦੀ ਸੀਗੀ because ਮੈਨੂੰ ਮੇਰਾ ਟਰੂਥ ਪਤਾ ਤੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕਾਉਂਸਲਿੰਗ, I needed it badly because ਮੈਨੂੰ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੇਅਰ ਸੀ ਮੇਰੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਕੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ। ਮੈਨੂੰ ਹੋਰ ਦੁੱਖ, ਮੇਰਾ ਦੁੱਖ ਸੀਗਾ ਵੀ ਮੇਰੇ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮੈਂ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਪਿਆਰ ਕੀਤਾ ਉਹ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਛੱਡ ਕੇ ਚਲੇ ਗਏ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੇ ਕਰਕੇ। ਲੋਕਾਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਬਿਲੀਵ ਕਰਦੇ, ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਬਿਲੀਵ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ। That was my hardest thing. Then ਫਿਰ ਮੈਂ ਉੱਥੋਂ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਕਾਉਂਸਲਿੰਗ You don't even understand how much counseling I had to go through. I went like weekly, like weekly. I still do. Sometimes I have nothing to talk to my counselor about. Even marriage therapy. I go and me and Suk literally talk about, well, we had this yesterday for dinner, and then we have nothing to, but we do it because it's so important to me. I feel like you always need a professional's opinion, and sometimes you just need someone to talk to without being judged, without being. So I had to work on myself. I had to not only be better for the people that I love, but be better, show up in a way for myself that I'm a better version of myself. And I couldn't have come back or even stood on my feet if I didn't have my parents, if I didn't have my in-laws, if I didn't have my best friends, if I didn't have, people saying, you know what, Harp, today you're here, but tomorrow there is a light. Just follow the light. You'll keep going. So many people in my life, they knew my heart. They knew who I was. So they were like, why would you want to end this like this? Like, you just go back out there and just live.
ਔਰ
Just live.
ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਖਿਆਲ ਵੀ ਆਇਆ ਸੀ ਨਾ
Yeah,
ਕਿ ਸਭ ਕੁਝ ਛੱਡ ਦਿਆਂ?
I did. I wanted to because I was like, "ਕਾਹਦੇ ਲਈ ਮੈਂ ਕਰਦੀ ਆਂ? Why am I putting my life on display for what? ਛਿੱਤਰ ਖਾਣ ਲਈ?" Like, like it's being on social media is a double-edged sword.
It
It's
is,
it's
absolutely.
great when it's great,
Yeah.
but cancel culture is real. And when you're not happening, and that's it. No one even asks questions. It's just like, oh, we don't like you anymore. And you're yesterday's, newspaper, your fish paper now.
So, despite of whatever happened on social media ਤੇ ਇੰਨਾ hatred ਮਿਲਣਾ, ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਇਹੋ ਜਿਹੀਆਂ ਅਜੀਬੋ-ਗਰੀਬ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਰਨੀਆਂ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਐ ਲੱਗਾ ਸੀ ਪਰਸਨਲੀ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਸੋਸ਼ਲ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਤੋਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਡਰ ਵੀ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਮੈਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਿਲੈਕਟਿਵ ਆ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਕੀ ਸ਼ੇਅਰ ਕਰਦੀ ਹਾਂ। ਯੂ ਲਾਈਕ ਐਨ ਓਪਨ ਬੁੱਕ।
I am.
ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਭ ਕੁਝ ਸਾਂਝਾ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ ਸੋਸ਼ਲ ਮੀਡੀਆ ਤੇ। ਕਦੇ ਐ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੱਗਾ ਉਸ ਇਨਸੀਡੈਂਟ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਕਿ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁਣ ਨਹੀਂ? ਅਮ,
To be honest, I did. I felt like, oh, why would I want to share my life anymore just to be judged? But then I can't live like that, Tarannum. I feel like like my husband always says, if someone says no to me, that's the only thing I'm going to do. My whole life, my childhood, if someone says I can't do something, I have to do it. I can't censor myself. I wouldn't be living an authentic life.
Right.
And if I don't live an authentic life, what the hell is the point of all this?
True.
Right?
So true.
I'm not doing this because I'm trying to like paint a picture and become successful or make my business. No, I'm just honestly living. And if I'm living and holding a phone and showing people behind the scenes and it makes me feel like, okay, um, I'm not really it's not work for me. Do you know what I mean?
What would you keep to yourself? What
I keep
is
so much to myself. Everyone thinks my life's out there, but there's actually so much to myself that a lot of people do not know because I just don't share it. Um,
what is sacred to you?
there is my nighttime routine with my kids,
Mhm.
my morning routine with my kids, my private little vacations that I take with my husband and my kids that no one knows about. And a sacred time is just like intimate moments with my family. Like sometimes, like I'll share some birthdays, but there's so many like monumental occasions that have happened and that no one knows because I want to keep that stuff for myself. And it's basically just comes down to moments. Yeah.
ਕਦੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਨਾ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ-ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬੱਚੇ ਹੋਏ ਚਾਹ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਨਾ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਤਸਵੀਰਾਂ ਸ਼ੇਅਰ ਕਰਨ ਦਾ। ਇੰਸਟਾਗ੍ਰਾਮ ਹਾਲੇ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋਇਆ ਸੀਗਾ। ਸੋ ਆਈ ਵੁੱਡ ਸ਼ੇਅਰ ਦ ਪਿਕਚਰਸ ਤੇ ਘਰਦਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਨਜ਼ਰ ਲੱਗ ਜਾਣੀ।
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
My mom ਹੁਣ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ
ਹਨਾ?
yeah, and that's a
ਕਿ
like
ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੇ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਨਹੀਂ ਦਿਖਾਈਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ,
um,
ਨਜ਼ਰ ਲੱਗ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ।
mm.
ਤੂੰ ਜਦੋਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਤੂੰ ਖੁਸ਼ ਹਾਂ ਤੇ ਉਦੋਂ ਹੀ ਕੁਛ ਨਾ ਕੁਛ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਐਂਡ ਸਮਥਿੰਗ ਹੈਪਨਸ।
And sometimes I feel like true ਵੀ ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ ਪਰ ਜੇ ਨਜ਼ਰ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਮਰ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੁਣ ਤੱਕ ਤਾਂ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਨਜ਼ਰ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਖਾ ਜਾਣਾ ਰਾਈਟ
ਤਾਂ ਹੀ ਤਾਂ ਇੰਨੇ ਈਵਲ ਆਈ ਪਾ ਗਿਆ ਹੋਇਆ।
ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਕਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਬਲੀਵ ਕਰਦੀ ਸੀ ਪਰ ਹੁਣ ਮੈਨੇ this is a Pink Orchid Studio collaboration with Golden Tree
ਲਵ ਇਟ।
and they when I went in Bob said
ਹਾਂ।
to me, where's your evil eye? Don't you know you need it? I'm like, no. Then he put it on my neck again. I'm like, okay, well, I guess I need it. But I feel like with putting my kids on social media, I put them on not as much as I used to. I put them on now because I want to give them a choice. As they're getting older, if they say to me, Mom, we don't want to be on social media, done. You're not on social media. It feels like this new generation, it's a YouTube generation. They all want to have their own YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And it's not like they all have Instagram. My kids don't, but I know one day that day is going to come where they're going to, and they're going to be on social media.
How old are they now?
They are 11 and 8.
11 and 8. What is it like to be a mom to two boys?
I love it. I wanted a third, and I actually wouldn't have even cared if I had another boy or a girl. I just wanted a healthy child. It just wasn't in our kismet at the time. I love being a boy mom. I'm actually a really good boy mom. As much as you would think I would be a good girl mom, but I have so many nieces. So whenever I want that energy, of being around like a like going to high tea or getting our nails done. I will just pick up my nieces and go, or my friends' kids and go. But being a boy mom is easy in the sense right now it's easy because they're young. I'm sure when they're teenagers
Yeah,
it changes,
things are
right?
gonna change.
Yeah, but they're just easygoing. They don't care about what they wear. They're not trying to coordinate their outfits. I just take them to their sports. They love watching sports, and most of it Sook does because they have that similar interest.
Right.
It's like on autopilot. There's not a whole lot that I have to do with them. They're really easy.
How do you do it all, Harp? ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬਾਹਰ ਬੈਠੇ ਲੋਕੀ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਜ਼ਾਹਿਰ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਟਰੈਵਲਿੰਗ ਵੀ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਅਪਾਇੰਟਮੈਂਟਸ ਤੇ ਵੀ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਪਾਰਟੀਜ਼ ਵੀ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ
Oh yeah, parties have
ਹੈ ਨਾ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਮਤਲਬ ਲਿਟਰਲੀ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਇੰਸਟਾਗ੍ਰਾਮ ਇਜ਼ ਲਾਈਕ ਅ ਰਿਐਲਿਟੀ ਸ਼ੋ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਐ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਕਰਦੀ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ
um
ਹਾਊ ਡੂ ਯੂ ਡੂ ਇਟ ਆਲ
I throw a lot of pity parties and I listen to Adele in the shower, just cry. No,
ਲਵ
that is true. I have support. I really do. I I honestly, this is so funny. I'm going to say this. I think I have ADD and I just haven't been medicated because I cannot be sitting still. Even when I'm here, I was like editing. I was in the car, posting my blog, and it's just this energy that I have, and I think it frustrates my manager because she's always like, focus. Like, why are you always trying to do five things at once? I can't help it. It's just who I am. And the days that I have off, they're never off. I can't. It doesn't
you
feel
can't sit still
it just doesn't feel right to me. I feel like, okay, I'm going to garden now, or I have this to do. I have that to do. It's not, I don't know what it is, why I have this much energy. And when I don't, I'll stop. I can't explain it, Tarannum. It just is. I really do. Like every single day
I
of my
love
life
it
is accounted for. And I think having a schedule really helps because if you open my calendar, it's like literally 9 a.m. this,
mm-hmm.
10 a.m. that, answering emails at 11. She'll be like, do these invoices at this time. This is so my manager keeps me, Emma, who's also my best friend.
and I keep saying I
Yeah,
need another I need
everyone,
Emma in my
everyone needs an
life
Emma. I need four more Emmas in my life.
I need Emma. Emma is a blessing.
She is. She is a
And she's blushing right now.
yeah, she's a blessed. I can't do it without her. Like she literally keeps me on track. My husband helps so much.
Mhm.
My in-laws help with my kids.
Yeah.
So when I'm traveling, we give them the schedule and they're like, okay, we're gonna pick up the boys from here, take them there. And my kids have a fuller schedule than I do. They're in
Right.
drumming, coding, hockey, rep
Right.
hockey, baseball, a track,
That's a lot.
tutoring, and there's two of them.
Mhm.
It's a lot. So it's not just
That's a
me.
lot.
I have a community that helps me. And without that, I couldn't do it all.
I want to talk about Suk. I've met him. He's fabulous.
Yes.
ਕਿਸੇ ਵੀ ਇਨਸਾਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਨਾ ਆਦਮੀ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਖਾਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਵਾਈਫ ਨੂੰ ਸ਼ਾਈਨ ਹੋਣ ਦੇਣਾ ਸੌਖਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ
Mhm,
ਜਦੋਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਦੇ ਹਸਬੰਡ ਵਜੋਂ ਜਾਣੇ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਹੋ
mhm.
and the person has to be extremely comfortable in his own skin,
Like Mr. Harp Sohal.
secure,
Yeah.
confident. Um, I live with one,
Yeah.
so it takes a lot for a man to be known as his wife's husband.
Yep. Sukhveer is like the salt of the earth. He really is. I and after everything that we've been through, I don't think I'll ever meet like someone like him again. He is truly my soulmate. I could go on and on and on about Suk, and I'm not just saying this because he's my husband, but I could be because he's proven time and time again what a genuine, kind man he is. And the fact that he takes a back seat and no one even really knows this. Do you know that he's an entrepreneur? He's way more successful than I am.
Nobody knows that, right?
And he
Yeah.
doesn't want anyone to know that. He
Right.
doesn't even want to share his business or the
Yeah.
businesses he has. He's like, just keep it offline. I don't need anyone knowing because the more people that know, he believes in us, right? He's like, "Oro hi mera,
Yeah.
building collapse or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Kar diya."
Yeah.
So he is very much like
Low key.
low key,
Mhm.
kills it in his business, and just likes no one knowing about it.
So is he okay with you not being low key?
He is. And I think we're such polar opposites, and that's why we work. He brings me down to earth, and I bring the excitement in our relationship. I'm always like, what are we doing today? He's like, no, let's just, I'm like, no, get up, let's go do this. We have this event to go to. I bring him out of his comfort zone,
Yeah.
and he constantly keeps me humbled and grounded.
Have you always been an extrovert, Harp?
No, I don't know. Maybe.
Because you walk into a party, it's almost like the confidence that you bring is
It's not confidence. It's just pure adrenaline to have fun. That's it. I just want to have fun all the time.
but you always want to have fun with people around you. Can you have fun alone?
Yeah. Oh, you can ask her. Look at her. She's like, yep, I do. Sometimes I'm just like home by myself and it's a rare occasion. I'm like, all right, what are we going to do? Turn up the music. Let's start cooking. I can't be a sad person.
You're high on life right now. You really are.
I know,
And this
we're talking about all these hard subjects, and I'm still like,
this version of you, I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. Knowing what you've been through in the last few years and where you are right now,
Mhm.
I think it gives hope to other women. It really does.
it's all what you make of life. If you really just take inventory of all the great things that are going in your life, you can't help but be happy.
Hmm.
I'm not saying my life is perfect. There's a lot of shit storms that happen behind the scenes where I'm like, again, and I
Yeah.
every morning at 9 o'clock, my first phone call after I have a coffee with Suk is,
Yeah.
so what's the shitstorm today, Emma? Like, what
Right.
are the fires that we're gonna put out today?
Yeah.
But I think if you think, okay, I have my health, I have a roof over my head, I have healthy children,
Yeah.
more importantly, I have a healthy family, because at any time that could be taken away from you.
Of course.
You know, you think that you have a plan in life, but God has other
Oh,
plans
absolutely.
completely. Like,
Absolutely.
ਮੈਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਤਾ ਕੱਲ ਨੂੰ today I'm riding this high, like I'm
Yeah.
just high on life. ਕੱਲ ਨੂੰ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਬਿਮਾਰੀ ਵੱਜ ਜਾਵੇ and then I'm sitting in a hospital bed and then that's it, it's over.
So true.
That's why when I'm here today,
Yeah.
I want to be the happiest version of myself because ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੱਲ ਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਹੋਣਾ.
Yeah. Is it a big responsibility ਕਿ ਨਿੱਕੇ ਨਿੱਕੀਆਂ ਬੱਚੀਆਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਨੇ, teenagers ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਨੇ, ਉਹ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ role model ਮੰਨ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਨੇ?
Yeah. And I never consider myself a role model because I never wanted to be one. And when people say you're an influencer or I'm like, what? It's so it's kind of asinine to me in the sense that I never set out to be. It's not my career path. Like I'm an entrepreneur, I'm an investor. I never wanted to be an influencer, but I feel like it goes hand in hand. Today's day and age, you have to be on social media in order to promote your business.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to be on social media other than being myself and showing my life.
Mhm.
So in that sense, I've kind of got pushed into the influencer role model role. So it's a lot of pressure because sometimes there's things that I want to talk about and I think, no, maybe I shouldn't touch on politics or
Mhm.
maybe I shouldn't touch on that because it's I have a platform,
Right.
right? And I know how many people watch my stories. So I have to be very careful and be like, okay, maybe that's not the right thing to do. And it may not that it will rub someone else the wrong way. Maybe it's just not something that I would want my children or somebody that is watching, to see. But then at the same time, I have the same it's then I'm like, what am I do if I'm not being authentic? Like, I
Right.
fight with it constantly.
Do you have any regrets?
Yeah, of course. Everyone does. Everybody has regrets in life.
What are your biggest
My
regrets?
biggest regret is, honestly, is if I've ever hurt anyone that I've loved, because that was not my intention. But everything that happens in life for a reason, and it gives you a learning lesson, and it gives if I would go back, I would do things differently. But sad reality is I can't. So what am I going to do? I'm going to learn everything that I can and be a better human.
What are the biggest lessons that you've learned throughout this
Don't
experience?
trust. Don't trust. Not everything that is like. Not everyone is like how
Mm.
you and I would be, don't wear your heart on your sleeve so much for other people's don't show your vulnerabilities and like don't trust so easily because I trust so easily.
So do I. So do
Like
I.
if
We are
someone
one day apart, literally.
yeah. If someone says to me like this is what like it is, I'll be like, oh, this box is red. I'll be like, maybe it is. Maybe I'm colorblind. Maybe.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
I trust so easily.
Does it take a lot for you to open up with people, or you're easy to make friends?
I'm super easy to make friends with and I love humans. I really do. I love connecting. I love meeting new people. It's not hard for me at all. But it may look like I know the world and I socialize because that's my job. I have five on this hat. That's it. Those are my five friends. And those are the only people that are welcome into my home at all any given time. And I could walk into their home and I could call them at 5 in the morning
Right.
and they will be there. And my family is very close. I have five siblings and we are all very close. We're close with their spouses, and then my Masi's kids, very close. And that's my circle. And if anything were to happen to them, I would die for them, and I know they do the same for me.
In the last few years, I've seen this wave of women entrepreneurs.
Mhm. And I
It's
love it.
so incredible. I love it.
Mhm.
It makes me so proud.
Yeah.
So proud. What has shifted?
I love it. I think women are just starting to realize there's a place on the table for all of us, And it's not we don't I think this new generation of women, they don't see each other as competition but they see each other as like like pillars that could support, one another. When they open the door, they hold the door open for the next woman to come through.
Is that really happening, or is it just
It is.
happening for the optics?
I don't know. I think it really is happening. It wasn't happening for a long time, but
Mhm.
I'm starting to feel it. I really in my heart I am. Like even when we do our POS Academy classes,
Mhm.
like the reason why we started the academy was so we could uplift other women so they could have the same experience as us. Because I honestly believe
Yeah.
my job is the best job in the world. I wouldn't trade my job with any nobody.
Mhm.
Like I love what I do. It doesn't feel like work. I wake up at 3 in the morning, 2 in the morning, and I swear I'm like, let's go. I'm like, and we're in our group chat with I'm like, what's up, guys? Let's go get a coffee. Let's go. I
Love
love it.
it.
I love my job, and I love teaching and inspiring, and I building up the next generation of artists so they could do the same thing that I do,
Yeah.
and at the same level that we do it, and also like keep that torch going because I can't do this forever.
What's the secret to success? ਜੇ entrepreneurship ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿਸੇ ਕੁੜੀ ਨੇ
Hmm.
ਹੋ ਸਕਦਾ 14-15 ਸਾਲ ਦੀ ਹੋਵੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰਨ ਦੇ ਸੁਪਨੇ ਲੈ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ what is the path for her what would you like to say to somebody
You
like
have to
that?
utilize any like if in my industry, I would say if you like what I advice I give to my students is don't just put down the makeup brushes when you go home. Keep practicing. If this is what you want to do it as a passion. Don't do it for the money. The money will come because it's supply and demand, right? If you love what you do and you're constantly putting out content and you're constantly putting out work, the you'll be booked. Love what you do and also utilize this free social media. Like now we're all on the same level platform
Yeah,
as any celebrity. Anyone could blow up like this. Anybody on YouTube could be the next,
absolutely.
Mario.
Yeah,
So content is king. Keep producing, keep putting out content because
right,
we are living in a world where everyone is constantly bored and they're looking for entertainment.
right.
If you're giving it to them,
Yeah.
you know,
Do you have any insecurities, Harp? ਮੈਨੂੰ ਐ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਵੀ ਇੰਨੀ confident ਕੁੜੀ ਇਹਦੇ 'ਚ ਤਾਂ ਕੋਈ insecurities ਹੋਣੀਆਂ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ.
I mean, physically, no. I used to. I'd be like, I can't wear that skirt. My legs have that solid. I can't do that. I think insecurities just fade as you get older. None of it matters anymore. Like, none of it matters.
About life, about business, any insecurities?
I don't like, I guess my insecurity is, trying to think.
See, I was right.
What would be my, Emma, what are my insecurities? Okay, I don't like it. Like this is something that just came up, and my husband was like, "You don't have to be liked by everyone." But I'm like, "Why? I didn't
You
do anything."
like to be liked.
Yeah, I like to be liked because I
Yeah,
genuinely have no
yeah,
ill intent for that other person.
yeah.
So if I'm like, "What did I do?" I want to get to the bottom of it because I want to fix it. I'm one of those people like, "Did I say something to offend you? What did I do?" Pick up the phone, call. Maybe that. Maybe.
I've actually done that to people.
Yeah, and they're like, "No, we're fine." I'm like, "But you're not," because I know you're not. Is something wrong?
Did I say something?
Yeah.
Did I do something? Because I wanna know
Hmm.
as well.
Hmm.
I love that. Um, Harp Sohal ਨੇ ਜੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ describe ਕਰਨਾ ਹੋਵੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ, this is who I am as an individual, ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਕਰੋਗੇ?
It's weird that you ask me to do that because I'm like, oh, it's cringe when you talk about yourself. And I feel like this whole time I've been talking about myself. I would just want to say love. Like everything in my life revolves around love. And if I don't like, I want love to pour into everything that I do and I want it back. Like it's everything to me. Like being loved, being in love, giving love, light. Um, I would say that.
When did the shift happen from coming from a family of no entrepreneurs to
Yeah.
being such a successful
I don't know if
entrepreneur?
I'm such a successful entrepreneur. I don't know when the shift happened. I just think I had no other choice because there wasn't a makeup company that I could go work for that was doing like what I wanted to do. Like there was Mac.
Right.
My dream job was to work at Mac.
Oh, wow.
I was like, what? मैं back कर ले मैं Mac to apply करना.
Isn't that
Yeah,
amazing?
yeah.
How your little dreams sort of
And
turn
now,
into this.
yeah, and now like we're partners with Mac.
Yeah.
We have top for Mac. And it's just, yeah.
What are the biggest lessons as an entrepreneur you've learned along the way?
There's no such thing as making mistakes because you're going to make mistakes as an
Mhm.
entrepreneur. Just take that chance in yourself. There's so much time so many times that I've invested money and my time in like a business venture
Mhm.
or something that I solely believed in. It was a dream that I was chasing, and it didn't work. But that's okay because what I may have lost that time and money, but guess what I did do? I learned so many valuable experiences, and then you take them and you apply it to what you actually want to do. So I would say just take risks. Don't be scared. Don't be scared to take that risk. Take that chance in yourself
Mhm.
because nobody else is going to believe in you. I mean, I feel like I do. I
Yeah.
have a lot of people believing in me,
Yeah.
but the moment that I believe in myself, I feel like, okay, now it's possible.
And it's happening more and more now. Women are creating spaces for themselves.
Yeah,
And I love that you push other women to do this as well.
you have to. Because when I needed the push, there was women in my life that I didn't even know. And one of them actually, Manvir Buttar, I
Mhm.
love her.
Yes,
My sister
absolutely.
forever.
Yeah.
And she didn't even know who I was. But one day I got a random call because she phoned one of my friends, Ganaka, and then got my number and says, hey, you don't know me. But like, maybe you need to hear this. And the conversation we had was a 2-hour phone call. And then we met for coffee. And now she's one of my bestest, dearest friends. And I love her so much. She did that for me when I needed it. And I didn't believe in myself.
You did that for me.
Yeah. Well, th-
You did that for me.
I still can't believe I did that for you. But
You absolutely did that for me. You gave me a spark when I didn't think I had any. You told me who I was. You reminded me
I didn't tell you.
who
I just
I
had to be like,
was.
do you know who you are? Get up. Let's go. Did you forget? Let me remind you. See, you're Tarannum. Let's get you. What are we gonna do? You need to get back out there. You need to have a podcast. This is how we're gonna do it. This is where we're gonna get the space and blah blah blah. And I remember waking up the next morning because you were on my mind, and the first thing I had to do
You
was text you
checked.
again, and I was like, hey,
Yeah.
are you gonna do this? Because
Yeah.
you're gonna need that push, and I will be that push because I had women in my life that pushed me when I didn't want to get out of bed.
Like I said, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Harp.
Oh, you're so sweet. I know you would be here because you're you. You would. You
Her
just
words were, "You are a legend."
you are
I
a
was like,
legend.
"What?"
You are a legend. Do you know what you've done for our community? Like in the broadcasting world, like you're up there in my eyes as Shushma.
Oh gosh.
And Shushma
Wow.
Ji,
Sushma Ji's a
a
legend.
legend. And you're
She's a
there.
legend.
And you're constantly breaking barriers and you're giving opportunities in this table and like a platform for women like me to come share my stories. Like, so you do that for all of us. Why would somebody not do it for it? Just makes sense.
You got this.
Yeah, we got
I
this.
love you.
I love you more.
Thank you for doing this.
Always.
Amazing.
Chai with tea.
ChaiwithT. Yeah.